G'day guys, how's it going? In this video I'm going to replace the rear sprocket from a 41 tooth sprocket to a 44 tooth sprocket. I've already removed some of the guards. I did that when I cleaned the chain yesterday. You'll need spanners for the rear axle, the nuts behind the sprocket and the hex bolts. While the bike is still on the ground, loosen all the nuts and bolts. It just makes it easier because you've got the weight of the bike behind you. So undo the axle bolt and then go around and loosen up all the nuts at the back of the Allen bolts on the back side of the sprocket. I did it this way. I don't know, you could probably take the wheel off and do it when it's on the ground and actually take it off the wheel. This is the way I did it. It worked fine. Now all the bolts should be loosened up at this point, and this is when you should be trying to get the bike up onto a crate or a jack, or in my case I had the centre stand, which helps fairly well. Now remove the axle nut. And remove the bolt. Now take the wheel out and place it on the ground and start undoing all the Allen bolts and nuts. Now remove the old sprocket. I grease the new sprocket up at this point. I advise not to do this because you end up with grease all over your hands as you're putting in the new bolts. It was kind of a bit of a mistake on my part, but I'd do this at the end. It's easier. Now add all the Allen bolts back into the hex bolts back into the sprocket and attach all the nuts. The sprocket does actually come off the wheel. It's just pushed in on the push drive. So I found that out about halfway through. Might make it easier. Now once that's done, tightened up, pick up the wheel and put it back within the frame. One thing to note is when you've taken the wheel off, don't press the rear brake or it will close up the caliper and just create more work for yourself. Now when installing the rear wheel and the sprocket, make sure not to put the rear axle in until the chain is on the sprocket. I did this the other way around to begin with, and I couldn't do it until a couple of emails back to the place I bought it from, and it all got sorted. Push the axle back into the wheel and tighten up, and then attach the nut. You have to readjust the chain adjuster at the back. It's fairly easy on the DR. You just rotate it around until you've got still a little bit of slack in there, not too much. I think it should move, I don't know, was it 2 centimeters? But check the manual. Make sure you follow the manual and specs on all the nut tightening as well. Tighten everything up, give it a really good tighten up. The axle and all the sprocket nuts, lube up the chain around that sprocket,